Well, we might as well start.
No.
Welcome to a
We
bonus
can't.
episode of the Dose of Penny podcast.
Oh, no.
I'm joined by my lovely wife yet again, Mahli. So we're here to review everything Scenic Rim 100 mile. So literally finished yesterday. So I don't know how good of an idea it is to run a podcast so close to finishing.
We're pretty tired.
Yeah, we're definitely not super coherent just yet. And I find the more you think you're okay, the more you know that you're not okay, even in these early stages. Miles even pulled me up earlier and just like, hey, like you've already replied to all your clients and you're planning this and you got your video call tonight and you're doing all, just not, I need you to rest this afternoon because tomorrow you've got a big day. Because yesterday was also actually our daughter's 3rd birthday. So Miles has got the week off work this week and we're gonna do some stuff with both the kiddos tomorrow. So Tuesdays I usually have a full day, dad day as we call it. So that'll be a family day tomorrow. Yep. So she's like, well, you're gonna have to be on tomorrow. So I need you to actually
rest, just stop.
Actually chill out. So I'm doing my best. We just knocked off a couple of burgers, homemade, which was really good. So it took 20 minutes just to sort of bring myself back together. I promise I'll be good for this afternoon.
Surely.
And tomorrow.
Tomorrow. This afternoon I don't care about.
So yeah, we might as well get into it. Everything that unfolded yesterday, a much more successful way to bring things back around than only a couple of months ago when we were sitting in our accommodation in Dunsborough, licking my wounds, being disappointed with only coming up with 73 kilometres as opposed to an official finish. I've finally got one under my belt in 27 hours, 33 minutes, 35 seconds.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a relief to get an official result, I think. You know, it's my second completed 100 mile now, but the first one was unofficial, which is a story of its own. If you haven't seen the documentary, you know, just jump on my YouTube and the Everyday 100 mile is on there for your viewing pleasure. So that was my first 100 mile experience almost 2 years ago now. Can you believe it?
Well,
yeah.
It actually kind of feels further ago. Oh no, we're starting good. We're starting good.
Yeah,
feels
so
longer ago.
It does. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe for you.
Yeah. Just me.
But yeah, the experience itself yesterday was so different. Well, and the day before, I suppose, was so different to the first one.
Yeah, completely.
I think just emotionally as well, knowing what the highs and lows are sort of like and throughout the day, and also yourself being more conditioned to what it takes to crew something like that now.
Yeah,
you know, that's
for sure.
your 3rd time involved with the 100 mile. You've crewed me for backyards for 100Ks, 50Ks, not that you really need it that much or are able to do anything for 50Ks here anyway. But how did you find your experience as someone crewing yesterday? Like, that's something that I wanted to share with listeners in today's potty was, you know, someone who has to do everything on their own. Like, you're my wife, so obviously there's things that you have to work against in your heart and how you feel about me as your husband, knowing when I'm sort of in the pain cave or something like that and knowing how to push me out. But then also actually having to do everything. You know, you are on your own. You have to try and factor in trying to get what little sleep you can so that you can stay functional for me, because if you're useless to me, that's a bad team.
Yeah,
you know,
and I did find that when I was trying to get sleep, I was like, I had to pressure myself. I was like, because there was, you were doing really well, but there was one aid station where you came in and you were a bit lower, and I knew it was just a bit of getting, like, you were just like, I'm fine, I'm going to keep going. You didn't eat anything and you just kept going, and I was like, I got to go get sleep now, because if you're feeling low and then I drop as well, and then if your brain's not functioning like I need to be, like, so that it was a good pressure to then be like, no, I got to just go sleep. That's the main goal, is to sleep so I can keep functioning for you. So that pressure was good, that's for sure. But
And how did you find your experience crewing this race compared to other ones? Like, do you feel like you're starting to get more on top of the process and understanding what I need and like how you need to operate? Like, what are you finding?
I now know less of what you need and more of what you will do, if that makes sense.
Yeah, go.
So like, you will tell me what you need on a lovely, beautiful piece of paper, and it's all filled out for me and stuff. And definitely the first 3 to 5 aid stations that I'm able to be there for you, I know it'll run close to that. And now I know to stop prepping at I want to say around that 50 to 70 kilometers or like past midday. This one was a little bit different because you started at 3 a.m. So that one I was a little bit unsure where to start it. But I was able to, good thing about being your wife, I was able to read you, and it did kick in a little bit earlier than expected. But as every other race, you have that awesome piece of paper and I start jotting it all down and I keep on top of it so I can give you the information you want when you ask for it. Like, you're like, how many calories have I had? And how much carbs have you had? So I had all that prep, but as always, it went out the door. So your palate changes. And so for crewing on my own, I do like the full control. So especially going into this one, knowing our pretty much only goal was for you to finish. Even when we did have a friend reach out and be like, oh, do you want to, I'll come out and help. What do you need? I was just like, no, I don't want any other person in there to help. But in saying that, it was tricky. It's definitely tricky to know, because I try and set up everything, but then knowing that you're going to come in and change it anyway, which is, I just know that's what's going to happen. So it's like trying to take all the photos, get a recording, try and get everything going, plus having all your food ready, and then packing up and knowing where I'm going to be headed and how long I have to get there. Like, it's definitely, I enjoy it. I definitely do enjoy it. I enjoy it more than I don't know. Yeah, like when I'm like organising it all, I guess it makes me a little bit stressed because I just don't want anything to go wrong for you and I want to make sure we have it all.
Yeah,
like,
you don't want to feel the responsibility of something.
Yeah. And like when I've realised we didn't have the charger cable for the headlamps and you're like, I need all 3 headlamps and the charger cable's there, like I was just like, oh no. And then I was like, I'm not going to tell you until I have to.
That also, the headlight issue ended up being more my fault. Me in any form of light, real bad. These eyes, they're not built for this world.
Beautiful, but they're not good.
The beautiful story I have is from one visit to an optometrist where she told me that I have like oblong shaped eyeballs. They're not perfectly spherical or something. And because I have blue eyes, they naturally let in more light. And then because my eyes aren't perfectly spherical, that brings in more light as well. So that's just my excuse for not being able to see shit all the time. And I've just hung on to that ever, I think I was like 20 or something. I'm like, oh, sick dude, it's not even my fault. Don't even worry about it. But yeah, me in low light, not good. So I'm always someone who has things blaring on full setting when I run with head torches. So I burnt through my head torch right as the sun was coming up. So for full context, the race starts at 3 a.m. So that was another obstacle that we had to overcome, was 2 nights of poor sleep. So the kids were pretty ordinary the night before, 2 nights before the race. And then we were obviously going to be interrupted with a shorter night's sleep ahead of race day. So we're up at 1 a.m. to get to the start line, 1:15 for a 3 a.m. start. And you're running through the dark those first few hours. And I just naturally had it on full blare. And it ended up conking out just as the sun was coming up. And already I'm starting to do the math. I'm like, how long I'm going to be running into quote unquote night 2. I'm like, oh, that's stressing me out that I'm probably going to need all 3 head torches that we had. But thankfully, I wasn't even aware of it at the time. But when I turned my headlamp on again at the start of night 2, it was on the lowest setting. And I must have just started adapting to it. I don't know what it was.
You just thought that was the only option.
Yeah,
so
but it lasted almost the whole time.
Yeah,
it would have had to have been like 9 hours or something. Yeah. So I only changed over. So thankfully,
and that's after me driving around 3 different shops trying to find they had every other cable charger other than a mini USB.
Yeah.
And I was talking to people and everyone's like, yeah, I don't really know.
Yeah.
So I drove from, 2 different suburbs, 3 different shops, got a charger, got more batteries. So we'll find in the end.
Yeah, thankfully.
Got it sorted.
Thankfully. Yeah.
But trying to get enough, I guess I always have to decide which one's more important between getting content, so photos and videos to post for you, and getting your nutrition in and having everything ready to go. Yeah, it's always a juggle, and I always
That's where
feel
I wanted
bad.
to ask you, like, do you think in the future, like, obviously you were hesitant about bringing Jodes in as a crew member, even though she offered up a time. And again, like, there was stuff with her schedule that was going to bump into her availability and where we felt we could actually utilise her help, which was going to be in the nighttime hours, which she could commit to. Do you think that control, though, just more or less stems from the fact that you're probably just always going to be crew leader, so chief crew, and then that you need to delegate? Because that's sort of what I've sort of been thinking in reflection, is that if I'm to try and tackle some of this multi-day stuff or anything beyond 100 miles, we're going to need more people doing different things.
For sure.
We almost have to have someone. If I want to capture content, I'm going to have to try and get someone to help capture content.
Yeah, I definitely can't.
No.
It's a content thing that I feel
impossible.
like drop the ball on every time. But
Which
also,
is difficult because that's how we get the exposure and tell the stories, and that's what gets engagement with.
But also, I'm not natural at it.
Yes.
Like, I just take 10,000
Yeah, I'm like,
photos.
here, just do this. Don't worry about it. And you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. I almost had it on the wrong setting. I wasn't even taking photos. And I was like, and then I went to auto, and then I tried to adjust it, and I was like, we're going back to auto. Auto's fine. Auto's great.
Absolutely. And I thought you still did amazing. Like, as you can
Thank
see the
you.
photos that are on the profile, they're all great. So, you know, it's better. It's absolutely better than nothing, and it's still better than an iPhone.
For sure.
Yeah. So, do you agree? Like, if we were to do something, we'd have to try and organise a proper crew.
Yeah. And also, if you're going for a time, like this one was a lot more relaxed because we already knew you weren't going for close to that 24 or sub 24. I definitely found those crewing a lot higher pressure with aid station, where this one we knew you're going to come in, we're going to get it sorted. You also knew I was alone, so you weren't going to be like, come on, we got to get going.
For sure.
So yeah, if anything was like time sensitive, I would definitely need more people, especially with your change in palate. So closer to the middle of the race, I stopped prepping your electrolytes because I know there's a chance your palate will just absolutely ditch it, and I don't want to be trying to empty it out and fill up another one. It's easier just to have the water bottles ready to go, but more crew is definitely going to be but we see that on the docos as well,
for sure.
how important more crew can be. And morale,
Yep.
I'm a little bit lost because I do know you so well. So when I see you start to get low, it's harder for me to, I guess, pick you up because I don't like to lie to you or try and say anything that I know you won't even believe. Like, I don't want to, it's all right.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to absorb that type of energy from you because it's not something I'm used to receiving from you.
Yeah.
Whereas getting it from someone else that I'm used to, or I can accept that, they don't get this part of it, but therefore it's still working for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or when you know it's their best intention, where you know it's my best intention, but also you're just like, it's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
What did you think of the event as a whole with how was it run and how was your experience out on the course?
Yeah, it was actually, I think it was really well run in total, especially the start line. We've actually had a few dull start lines, but they had smoke going, they had music going, which...
They were playing the Game of Thrones theme song as we left.
Yeah, and they were playing drums. Was it Lord of the Ring drums or something before it? So it was very good for 3 a.m. to have them bringing the morale, not me. I was like, oh, sick, I can relax. They've got smoke and music, we'll be... Right. The aid stations were really good. It's always tricky with the hot food out on these ones. They did only have soup, noodles, which was, you're just not a soup eater. And we already had noodles and pizza. But yeah, they were well kitted out. Everyone was super helpful. And yeah, the information docket they gave to the crew, because it was out rural, there wasn't a location they could tell you just to put into Google Maps. So they did their best to explain it all. And every time I had to ask for help, everyone gave me the help they needed. So it was really good.
And
how did you find it?
The event itself?
Yeah, the event itself.
Yeah, so that's sort of what I wanted to dive into. My experiences were mixed throughout the race. And again, everything that I'm about to share is knowing that this is my expectations and the things that I enjoy. That doesn't mean that I want to yuck someone else's yum, as they say, you know what I mean? So I just wanted to quickly pull up the description of the event itself. So, are you tough enough to take on the Scenic Rim Ultra? The Scenic Rim Ultra is one of the most hardcore, grueling and spectacular runs in Australia. If you want a flat and fast run, this isn't for you. But if you're up for 4,000 metres of elevation, so that must be for the 100K because ours has over 6,000 metres, punishing mountain climbs, relentless ridge lines, technical downhill, and some of the most gobsmacking scenery in Queensland, then you are in for an adventure of a lifetime. Now, I'm definitely not someone who needs flat and fast, but I did find a lot of the track itself, the course itself, not overly enjoyable to run. And I don't want to come off the wrong way, because that's not to say that I don't appreciate the work that Andrew and his family put into the event. It's a family run event. We get to run on more 50% of the course, which is on private land, which is really cool. But it just felt like it was really difficult. But I think 100-mile events are difficult
already.
Full stop.
Yeah.
It just felt like you were either going up or going down. And the runnable sections, and I think this is probably more so because we were the first one. So this was the first time they've run the 100-mile event. running that 100-mile course, there was new parts, of course, made because they're expanding on the 105k course, and it was just like mowed paddocks. So you're just running on grass. So anyone that knows anything about running on grass becomes its own challenge as well, because it's very different to like a fire trail or bitumen or cement. It just taxes your calves and your feet and your ankles a lot more. And my feet have never been so sore.
No.
They definitely felt the pinch a lot in that race. So it just didn't offer up as much excitement. And I don't know if that's coming off the back of Cape to Cape now. I may have started my 100-mile journeys with one of the most picturesque races. Again, I have no experience racing internationally. I'm sure there's plenty over there that I want to, get my teeth into that are going to look amazing. Yeah. But I still think Cape to Cape is going to hold its own with one of the most picturesque races you can run.
Yeah, I don't think.
And again, like that comes with its own caveat too. So much fucking sand.
Oh, so
Jesus
much
Christ, the trauma. There was a few sandy creek beds that I had to run through, and I was like, no, I thought I'd escape the sand. Fuck. But yeah, it just wasn't as breathtaking, or there wasn't like a section of trail where you're like just in flow and it's like, oh, this is amazing. You know what I mean? And again, like that's just me saying that's something that I value and I enjoy.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to start off with that, because I knew what I was signing up for, but I just didn't think it was going to be quite that.
Yeah.
Like it was brutal. It was really hard. Like some of those rock scrambles and stuff at some of the mountains, and again, we call them mountains in Queensland. We did 4 big hill ascents, but there was still some nasty pinches of like 30+% grade.
Yeah.
And then the Loop of Doom, adequately named. Oh my God, this thing was disgusting. And that was another thing I didn't really anticipate either, was it was pretty much just like a big road climb. Yeah. So we're already over 100 Ks in, and you sort of get out on this like little road highway section, and you dip off up into some of these more private roads, and it's just climb. And Miles was leaving the aid station to get to the top where I'd meet her just over halfway through the loop. And when she messaged me saying, so at this point, a lot of the signage starts to sort of peter out a little bit. So she was just saying, hey, like, don't freak out if you haven't seen much signage, just stay on that road. And if
because I was driving and I stopped and I rechecked because I'm like, am I lost?
Yeah.
I thought I was lost.
Yes.
So then I was like, if I think I'm lost in a car, he's going to think he's lost on his feet for sure.
Yeah. So then that message came through and she said, just text me if you feel like you're lost. But the time since I'd seen her and she came past me on the road itself to when she sent that message, I was like, oh God, this is a long climb.
Yeah.
And I'd already knew that from the map, that it was the biggest climb of the race. But I didn't know it was on road either.
Even I was driving it and I was like, oh shit, this isn't going to be good.
Yeah.
But I didn't know I could sleep. So I slept at the top because I'm like, he's going to take a minute.
And then the descent on the other side of that. So you end up doing the loop. So meeting Miles back at the previous aid station that she'd seen me at. Oh, it was so bad. I hadn't taken on any Panadol or caffeine by that point. And I was just like, oh my God, everything, I speak about this all the time in the podcast, preparing for ultras. You need to be worried about your descending ability, adapting for that eccentric loading that's going to be in your quads, but also your feet and ankles. It got to that point in the race where I had to start walking the descents. So I think I was 130 Ks in at that point when I was starting that descent.
Yeah.
Maybe, it was. No.
Yeah.
Was it?
Oh.
No, 140. Yeah, no, it was 130.
Because it had to be 150
because it was
out from
140 when I was leaving. And I was like, oh no, it's easy to think, there's only 30 Ks to go, but when you start
Which is what I tossed up to you. I'm like, only 30, you do that on a Saturday, see ya.
When you extrapolate that out to what that is time on feet versus, the state that you're in.
Yeah.
That's like 5 or 6 hours for the speed that I'm running at, or not running at. And thankfully, getting that caffeine and Panadol in helped immensely.
Although you came in and I thought you were going to be in a bad way, but then you were running half an hour ahead, so you lost half an hour in the race for your schedule.
Yeah.
And then that 10 Ks from the top down to me, you made up like 25 minutes. And I was like, you made up 25 minutes? And you're like, I don't know how the hell I did that. And you're just like, like you weren't even happy about it at that point. I was just like, well, I was like, it's sick. And then from there you kept on track again, but you weren't loving it, but then you made up time. So
yeah, for sure. But I thought the event itself was really well run. Like Andrew has a great sense of humor. You can tell the passion that he has, the effort that he goes to. Oh my God. Like if that is one thing that, well, two main positives, like that I think a lot of people are going to appreciate. One, the cost. You can't overemphasize how expensive this sport gets when you want to go big, and the price, and I'm sure it's going to go up as they look to improve certain things, but it was between $500 and $600 depending on early entry and the last minute entry. So, you know, over here, that's at least $300 to $400 cheaper than anything else that you can get when it comes to a miler. Sometimes half price. I'm pretty sure UTA Cozzy is like $1,000, maybe even $1,100.
Yeah.
So to have that price point was a massive motivating factor. The fact that it was only an hour down the road from us was obviously another big motivating factor. But the level of effort Andrew and his family went to get this course prepped is nuts. I want to say from memory, he said he whippersnipped 25 kilometers of the course, a lot of it being new for the 100-mile, and the flags put out on the course. There was over 1,000 flags put out on the course, and he put out the majority of them. There was another gentleman that helped him. He said,
only on one mountain, Mount Nebo, whatever it was.
Maybe Mount Crumpet or Mount Jumbera, I think it was called.
Yeah, maybe it was Jumbera.
Yeah, one of those ones. But amazing. You know, I didn't, and he gave the rationale why he went over and above on that. And he's like, I don't want you to have to look down at your watch every other minute. You know, I want you to be able to take in and absorb the experience of the race that they're putting together for you. And I very much was appreciative of that because I'm someone who doesn't like to stress over a map. So I didn't look at my watch. I didn't even have a GPX file to put on my watch. I didn't even bother.
Yeah.
And then I only referred to the All Trails map, I think 3 times. There was a couple where we thought we got lost, and I only got lost twice. So there was one early on, and we just happened to run into a really thick patch of fog before sunrise. And me and this other guy, we ended up sort of running down into this closed off cow paddock. But then it was still early enough where you could see head torches coming. So we just sort of retraced our steps, found the next flag and got back on the course. But the only other one was, I can't remember how deep into the race we were, maybe 110 Ks, I believe it was. And there was a bunch of us. There must have been about 10 of us that all ended up off course. We ended up down the back of this motocross track in the club there, and we were sort of looking around. And funnily enough, we were talking to a couple of guys who came in a couple of minutes before I finished, and we're having a chuckle because he said, and it was funny because I recognized him because I'd passed him after about the 80K mark, and I'm like, when the hell did he pass me again to finish in front? And he came over and said, oh, when you evidently got lost on course, we saw that as our advantage and we knew exactly where not to go. So we just took it. I'm like, I love that, man. It's a race after all. You got to go do your thing. So, and also that's a point that I wanted to make. I just wanted to give a shout out to Zach Bauer, one of the competitors there. He said he has been listening to the podcast and been enjoying it. So thanks so much for coming up and saying g'day, and I'm glad that you've been enjoying it, mate. It's cool to know that this potty, you know, it's only very new. I've only been doing it for a couple of months, and some of the reach that it's getting locally, and some of the people that I've been able to talk to, the guests that I've got coming up. We've got some massive guests hopefully on the list that are about to come out that I'm excited to share. But yeah, it's awesome to be engaging with the community and getting the feedback and people throwing DMs. So anyone that is listening, like, thank you so much for giving up your time. I know how precious it is in this day and age to be giving away your time to be listening to some gronk like me talking about running and what he thinks you should or shouldn't be doing and just sharing his experiences. So yeah, thanks, Zach. I really appreciated you coming up and saying g'day, and congratulations on your result too, man. Like, yeah, that course was brutal, brutal. And that's one thing that I'm really proud of myself, and that's something I don't say all that often, for getting through that race, that course, when I wasn't experiencing those highs all the time. No. You know, I've been on those courses, and like even when you booted me back out on course when everything was going to shit at the Cape, at that 50K mark, 55K mark, whatever it was, just after that was some of the most breathtaking coastal scenery I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
So to like have that to lean on and always refer back to was redeeming. But this you just had to gut out, you know. And don't get me wrong, there was still some stunning views. Like up at the top of Mount Joyce, you have beautiful sweeping views across Lake Wyaralong, and we couldn't have asked for much better weather. That was one thing I was glad I did take into consideration and practice in the race prep, was some ice bandana, and I didn't see anyone else out on course that had an ice bandana. No. And everyone that I spoke to said they experienced that same lull, which was between the 70 and 80K mark, where we really got baked out in the sun. There was a couple of, that's where most of the climbing was done for the majority of the race. And then there was a really long exposed section out through all these cow paddocks through this farmland in the Scenic Rim there. And yeah, you just had to get it done. And you can sort of see all my times really start to dip there. And that was where I had like the physical low. And then I sort of found on the back of that sort of dumped into like an emotional low as well. And you obviously mentioned the emotional low that I was going through during that night section as well, after that big climb. And you're just trying to convince yourself that you just got to get to the next thing. That's one thing I was trying to do, is just be a lot more present and just reminding myself, just get to the next aid station. Yeah. Don't go looking how long there is to go or how far you've got to go, where that's something that I definitely let sneak into my psyche when things started to go wrong. But I think I was feeling so sick in a way that I'd never experienced before. Yeah. Whereas thankfully we didn't have any of that this race. My palate was shifting and I wasn't enjoying things that normally work. Like I practice a lot with these awesome like Anzac biscuits that we get from the local cafe at Little Gossip down the road. And I was sort of nibbling on them, but not to the degree that I normally do on my training runs.
No.
Lollies went fully off my palate. Like twice I tried to get them in and I just spat them out on course. It was almost like I could taste the chemical structure that like gives lollies their texture. That's the best way I can describe it. It was
you were like disgusted. You're like, no more lollies. And when I sent out the sour
that's what started.
Babies, you were just like, you're like, no more of those. You like looked at them with like pure hatred. And I was like, they're gone.
It was not good. And I guess this is something to push back on in don't try anything new on race day. And I think it's unique to ultras. Like I would say like 100 miles. When you're preparing to go 24 hours and beyond, you just need to be prepared to just try something, or you're just going to get thrown something that you're like, that's it. And then you just lean on it. So whilst, yes, I'm always going to practice what you plan to utilize in your race, there's also an element where still just bring shit that you just don't know. Like I'd pack these date balls that I know that we eat them from time to time anyway with the kids, and they end up being clutch. Like they work so well. Something about that moorishness of like the almonds and the cacao in it. It just was nice to be able to get some nutrition.
You weren't super chewy. Yep. They weren't.
Yeah, wasn't too hard to get down. And then something that I've never consumed a lot of was Coke. And it wasn't flat Coke either, which is pretty common. A lot of people don't like the fizzy, but I enjoyed that. Yeah. And actually being able to get a bit of a burp up, it was something weird. It was nice to be able to get that out, you know? So that worked well. That would be the two things that were a bit left of field.
Yeah.
And another thing that we hadn't done before, so pizza has always been on the menu. But I'd normally just have it cold just because like you don't have a choice. But we had the gas cooker with us this time round, and you were reheating it on the gas cooker. Yeah. Just good old fashioned Domino's. I think we had, what was it? Apologies, we just had some technical difficulties there. So I think we're just talking about the type of pizza. So I think we established chicken, bacon, Domino's, something. And again, it doesn't even really
matter. Everyone's definitely going to eat the exact same pizza as you.
But the point I was trying to make is it was funny that something that I had time and time again, just prepared something ever so slightly differently, ended up making such a big psychological difference. And I think that's the power of food, is the impact that it has on your psychology. But then there's also like the physical improvements that it obviously brings as well. So being able to continue to get that fuel on board when you don't want to, I think they're the big steps that I have to continue to make if I want to go big, is being able to get fuel in longer and longer and longer. So yeah, I don't know if there's much more I could have done with the level of experience that I've got. I think it got me the result that I needed.
Yeah.
Because like I was saying, it was such a tough course, and that's what we're looking at from the results. I don't know how accurate they were and if there should have been maybe a few did not starts on that list, but there were only 16 finishes.
Yeah, that's wild.
And that means there was like a DNF rate of more than 50%.
Yeah, because it was at the start line, there would have been way more than 16.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they take on board, what they learn from, whether they're going to reach out for some feedback. And I don't even really know what I would give them as feedback to try and improve that DNF rate, because again, I would need to know more about the circumstances. Like, did they just miss cutoff times? Do they need to make the cutoff times more generous? Yeah.
I wonder if it was the 2 stints of no crew for 5 hours. Like, was it like keeping themselves going when they weren't seeing people?
Because there were a few guys that were doing like next to no crew and just relying on the drop bags.
Yeah,
there's a lot of drop bags out there at the 5 and 6 where you guys weren't allowed to get to.
And they had extra like start volunteers there helping people, but it's still very messy. Like, it's still the runner coming in and then having to give the drop bag number and pull it, and yeah, it
was tricky. And the course itself, it's actually, having now completed it myself, I'm also kind of not shocked seeing the people out there that didn't finish, you know what I mean, and being freaked out, like knowing that it took me 27 and a half hours.
Yeah.
Like, realistically, I would have liked to have gone quicker than that. But again, like, I look at my training processes and everything that I was able to give to it and why I was doing that event in the first place.
Yeah, we'll try and just
coming off the back of Cape to Cape, like, I'm still glad with how I turned up and didn't try and push things to the nth degree. Like, I prepared to the best of my abilities in the time that we had, knowing that we still had 2 weeks or a week and a half to still enjoy on holidays. When we got back, we were all fighting a sickness for the best part of 2 or 3 weeks, which knocked my training down for another couple of weeks. So realistically, and then I had the ankle thing that I don't know what happened. So it's meant to be my peak long run week leading into it, and I didn't run at all.
I didn't train at all?
Nothing. I had to have 3 weeks off because there was some weird impingement, I think, to do with my previous ankle surgery that always throws a curveball every now and then. I think it's just part of what my body's got now. But thankfully, the rest did its thing, and I'm still super proud that I got through the whole race itself. And for those that maybe aren't watching, I'm just showing up the camera now. Got these dope belt buckles. To the best of my knowledge, I don't think there's another Aussie ultra giving out belt buckles. Like, it's a bit more of an Americanized thing. So it was really cool to be able to receive one of those. So I've got a bronze one, so all finishers get that. I believe they had it set as silver for sub 24 and maybe gold for sub 20. The winner came through in 22 hours. So I don't know if that shifts their expectation for how fast this race can actually be run, or maybe they just need to seek a greater caliber of runner. I don't know. But yeah, I think we covered just about everything. I just wanted to give a shout out to Andy Crow. He supported me for this event, being the sponsor for my race entry. And, we're just like you guys listening. We're just guys having a go, trying to do all these crazy things whilst managing careers and being a good example to our kids and managing a good marriage, all those things. We just happen to do the stupid shit on the side, which
how good
not only absorbs a lot of time, but doesn't come for free. And there's a lot that goes into it. And as I'm sure we've evidenced in this podcast, we're still going to have to rely on more and more people to help make this shit happen. And I think that's what's great about the ultra community, because it draws in more than just people that want to do it. Yeah. Like, I mean, I'm all for supporting you, but I don't think you ever want to run 100 miles in your life.
No, I don't, no.
But it doesn't mean you don't ever want to be involved with my efforts.
Yeah, I want to be there.
And I think it piques the curiosity of someone who may never want to do it, just to be around it and just be like, what happens out there? So I think that curiosity bug extends just beyond someone wanting to do it. I think there can be room for a multitude of people in crews and volunteers. So if you've somehow come across this podcast and you listen to it and you're not obsessed with running, or maybe you love running but you don't ever plan on running an ultra, but you'd like to know, go and find out what your local ultra race is. See how you can get involved. Like, these things do not happen without volunteers. It's something that I want to make part of my involvement in the sport in the future, is getting more involved, not just crewing and helping out my own clients, but just going down and volunteering for an event, you know, sitting at an aid station all night and helping some runners come through. I think it's so important that we prop the sport up by those that can and will offer the assistance to those that are out there. So thanks again so much, Andy, for your support, mate. It doesn't go unwarranted. So what's next, do you think?
I don't know.
I'm thinking maybe do we do a multi-day?
I don't.
Or do I need to do another 100 mile?
Another 100 mile. No, I don't know. Whatever you want to do, we'll just do it. That's fine. We'll figure it out.
The good thing is I haven't done what I normally do, and that's researching races before I've even run the previous one.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So I was already looking at
to tick this
Coast to Cozzy before I'd even finished the Cape, and that sort of chewed me out pretty quick.
Are you learning?
Because I wasn't even able to enter it because I hadn't finished an official 100 miler. So at least now I can enter, Coast to Cozzy if I want to. But now, after how much of a bitch I was about the Loop of Doom, I'm like, oh man, how prepped would I be to run on a highway for hundreds of kilometres before running the highest mountain in Australia to finish the race?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, maybe I'm more of a bitch than I think.
Nah, you're right. You'll get it done. You're not. You need to know, that's all.
Anyway, gang, thank you so much for tuning in and listening to my rants. And of course, if you do have any more questions, there's something that maybe I didn't cover off about my race experience that piqued your curiosity or you want to find out about, either DM me on Instagram or email me at benny@doseofbenny.com. Otherwise, yeah, there's plenty of ways that you can get at me. Comment on reels, whatever. You know, I'm not hard to find, and I'm always willing to go back and forth with those that are curious. So, thank you so much for doing this.
That's okay.
I love you as always.
Love you.
Until the next debrief.
Sounds good.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll catch you at the next one.
Bye.
Lock the fuck in. Hello and welcome back.
Okay, wait.